see, these are mock-ups of what the subcontractor for Disney is creating for us in lighting, which is kind of exciting. And all that comes from an original photograph that was sent to us, actually a whole booklet on the grand opening that was sent to us by someone in the Midwest, randomly online. So we didn't have any pictures at all of what the lobby looked like. All we had before then was the exploration that we had done on the ceiling. And someone sent us an original photo of the lobby. And from that, we've been able to recreate these torches. And they're going to be really cool. Actually, quite a bit. So, bathrooms are all done. I don't know what, it's tough for me to remember. It's been such a long haul. Tough for me to remember exactly what we had finished in August. But the bathrooms are all finished, and they've been signed off by the city, which is great function. It's the first time in 30 years that we've had restrooms, particularly ADA restrooms in the theater. So that's exciting. And that will enable us as we move into spring to open up the theater for events. And that'll coincide with our 100th year anniversary. What we're working on now is the fine-tuning of these torches, because they're being created from historical photographs. So there's a lot of variance there. And they're being created from whole cloth. It's not like you can go and order a 100-year-old torch out of a catalog. So this company is working with us hard to fine-tune that. The other thing that we're working on is we have a group of craftspeople who are, what is their best title? They are artistic finish painters who are coming in and helping us. They're going to be painting in this budget. They'll be painting the whole lobby and restoring the original finishes. And so that's what's going on here. These are just the beginning samples of what that will be. So in this group of funding, we won't have the murals on the ceiling restored, but we'll have all the finishes on the walls restored, including the torches, which we think are going to be very impressive as you come in. I think there's a lot left, but we try to focus on what's been accomplished already. So in the last two phases, we've completed a lot of the ugly stuff that nobody sees. It's much like renovating a house. When you buy an old house, the hard work is in the stuff that nobody can see. So that's all been done here. The earthquake work has been done here. The fire suppression work has been done here. The rudimentary electrical work has all been done here. A new roof has been put on the whole property. So that's all finished. What we have left to do is mostly related to cosmetics. In the short term, and under this budget, we're going to be receiving a curtain for the first time in years and years. The theater will have a curtain. As I said, we'll be installing the torches and painting out the lobby. And we'll be able to, for the first time, have functions here without the requirement of having the city involved and having the fire department here to do fire suppression. So what used to be necessary for us to do events here was porta potties. We had no normal restrooms. And because of the situation with fire suppression, we had to bring actually in paid personnel from the fire department to supervise the event. That will all not be necessary as we move forward into the spring. As we come to the anniversary in the spring, we're looking toward a whole schedule of events. And we're really excited about that. We're also excited about the fact that we have the opportunity to make available naming rights. So there are a number of opportunities within the property for companies or individuals to come in and do naming rights. We also are gearing up toward being able to bring in volunteers, both volunteers from the community and volunteers that are interested with their companies in doing work for us that they can be credited for on their taxes. We have not. So the balcony, the earthquake work has been done on the balcony. It's been supported. The plan for that part of the body of the theater is to enclose the area behind me Part of that will be a snack bar, and the other portion of it will be lighting for the stage. That will be enclosed at some point in the future, and that will go along with the restoration of the seats. Instead, the next project that we're looking forward to is the restoration, and we're looking for a sponsor, the restoration of the organ lofts. While we won't be having an organ in the property, those are main features on either side of the proscenium of the theater, and they need restoration. So we're working right now with a company to recreate what was originally there, again from these original photos that were discovered, to recreate the plaster organs on either side of the theater proscenium. We didn't. It's the wonder of the internet, and as an old guy, that's just amazing to me. So let me get the photo. This came to us, my understanding was it came to us unsolicited from the Midwest. And what it is a part of is a booklet put out by the motion picture industry about new theaters that were being built and their modern accommodations. So someone in the Midwest contacted us via the internet and said, I've discovered this magazine that the whole magazine is about your theater and it's opening in 1925. Would you like it? And of course we said yes. And when we received it, it gave us pictures of the theater and the proscenium, which we had already. It gave us pictures of the smoking lobby upstairs in the balcony. And most importantly, it gave us this photo of the lobby. All of this information that is in this was unknown at the time. Of course, this was a magazine from 1925, so it was all in black and white. We sent these photos out to be blown up and then computer colorized using the palette that had been established by Evergreen when they came in to work with us about discovering the historical palette. So Evergreen was the company that actually made these windows and ceiling. And so we shipped that palette off to digital illustrators, and they were able to colorize this for us. So all of this stuff was unknown. The idea that these torches existed was suspected because the electrical connection was at the bottom in each one of these positions. But the idea that the floors were covered in oriental rugs, that art and tapestries hung on the wall, and how dominant the frescoes that are across the ceiling are. All of that was new information for us, and it was really, really exciting. And it was just somebody's goodwill that created it. It wasn't great research, it was just kismet. I think opening is a word that requires definition. So for the 25th anniversary, we will have a slate of events through that whole year. We will not be completely restored or completely functional at that time. We'll have a lot of things in place, and we certainly have the ability to entertain people in the property, which is an accomplishment. Obviously, you've been at events where we had to wear hard hats. We're no longer in that space, but we're not finished yet. We have a long way to go. And as I said before, there are wonderful opportunities for labor in kind, for commercial companies to come in and do work for us as a tax deduction, and for naming opportunities. We have naming opportunities right now for fun things like each one of these torches is available as a naming opportunity. The restoration of the sign on the roof is available for a naming opportunity. Each of the bays on either side of the organ loft are available for a naming opportunity. So we're really excited about that being able to be put forward in the community. I think that there is the least amount of work on our full projection in getting the theater itself, the box that is here, up and ready and being presentable. That would be the shortest amount of work. And that comes from the fact that we have all these wonderful things going on. We have new restrooms, we have all of that. A full restoration or movement into the plans for additions across the back of the property, I would think are years away. again, we're looking for sponsors for that portion of the work. And we think we have a long way to go. Looking forward, though, to being able to welcome the community into the property. One of the things that's gone on in the last 20 years is just through natural matriculation. Many of the people who were very excited about the theater, who grew up going here, we had a lot of stories in the previous years about people who had their first date in the balcony or their first kiss in the balcony, or what movies they saw here, myself included. Those people, many of them are not around anymore. They've either moved away or they've passed away. What we're really looking forward to in this coming spring is the ability to bring people in the community that are curious about the property, maybe who've never been here, or have only heard stories of their parents or their grandparents coming into the property. Because it's such a cool place. It's really, and people drive by all the time and want to know what it is. I'm never here working that I don't have the gate unlocked, that I don't have somebody walk in from the street and say, can I look, can I see, what is going on here, what's going on? There's a lot of curiosity about it because it's such a cool property drive-by-wise. I think the most important thing to communicate to the public is the hard stuff's really out of the way. The ability to preserve the envelope of the building has already been completed, but we have a long way to go. And we need the community's support to do that. We need volunteers, we need labor in kind, and we need people who are willing to underwrite the different sponsoring projects that are out there. We also need, I think, the community to express what they want from the city, that the city should know from the public that this is something that they love and they're excited about and they're looking forward to moving forward with it.